will be starting in 5 minutes. We're 90 seconds away from the gala. We'll be starting in 90 seconds. Season Center's 25th annual Tender Hearts Gala is about to get started. Thank you for being here and enjoy our Silver Linings Jubilee.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Hey, it's Jason McCoy and Carey Moran from Pure Country 106. I want to welcome all our guests and loyal supporters to Season Center's 25th Annual Tender Hearts Gala, Silver Linings Jubilee 2021.
Before we get the program underway, we will do the territorial acknowledgement. Season Center for Grieving Children and all of us here today acknowledge the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Wata First Nation, as well as the historic Métis communities in our region that I'm speaking from today. We also acknowledge that Simcoe Muskoka is the home of many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people as part of an intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships. We ask for guidance in all that we do.
Now, tonight's virtual event is not the same as being together, but through the power of technology, you get to enjoy this gala from the comfort of your own home. And that's the beauty of this technology.
Wait a minute, Jason. Are we actually in our own home?
Well, I don't know. But where are you?
I could be on a beach in Hawaii.
That's not, why am I not with you?
I don't know. Or we could be, get this, underwater. Is that a boat? That's a boat.
I hope so.
We could go even further. Do you want to go a little further?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We could go, get this, to the top of Mount Everest.
All right, I'm in. I'll do that.
And if you're trying to get out of this world, how about this one? The International Space Station.
Nice.
On our way to wake up in the morning on Mars.
I'm in. Absolutely. I got my passport packed. Actually, I'm ready to travel anywhere at this point. We want to thank you all for supporting and joining us for the Season Center and continuing to provide comfort and supporting children as they grieve the death of a loved one. Now, this event could not happen without our sponsors. Shout out to all of our sponsors and our media partners. Now, our platinum sponsors, CIBC Wood Gundy, Insight Tech Inc., and our gold sponsors, Cowden Woods, Data Gives Back, and Jackson's Toyota, Melchor Management, MJK Electric, Royal LePage, First Contact Realty.
And we also have to thank our silver sponsors, which are listed on the screen, and our bronze sponsors, also listed on the screen. Now, these are the people that are supporting us, so if you wouldn't mind supporting them back, that would be great.
You bet. And we couldn't do it without our media partners as well. Pure Country and the Doc 104.1. Barry Advance, Matt Brown, our very talented videographer, and Creative Co-op. They designed all of our gala materials. Also Rock 95, Cool FM, and Barry 360.
So we've planned an exciting event for you, and this is sort of the rundown of our program this evening. First, we'll hear from our development director at the Season Center. We'll have some special awards presentations with our board president, Lisa Hillstrom. We have a 25 years of Season Center presentation that you can't wait to see this. We have our participant speakers, Paula and Luke, that'll tell you a little bit about what Season Center means to them. And we have some featured items from the online silent auction. We've got Dale and Charlie from Cool FM.
And talk about some great items in our silent auction. 3-night stay at JW Marriott, Rosso Muskoka Resort and Spa, courtesy of Melchor Management. Advertising package, courtesy of Rock 95 and Cool FM. And check this out, perfect for this season. Napoleon barbecue and accessories. Also, a private catered dinner for 8 from Chef Dylan, who took care of us, hooked us up with these charcuterie boards. Look at this. We've got the whole VIP experience here. Also, all-access Alpine season passes for a family of 4 for the 21-22 season at Horseshoe Resort. Also, a wine and foodie package, golf packages, and a lot more great experiences.
And no gala, whether it's virtual or otherwise, would be the same without entertainment. We've got some great entertainment this evening. We'll have a musical entertainment with Jason McCoy. Who's that guy? And a comedy act. Carla Collins and Humble Howard will be here to cap off the evening.
And as I mentioned, the VIP experience right here with our charcuterie board, we've got the wine, all the accoutrements, and all the big words that I don't normally say unless I'm doing a gala. But our charcuterie and wine catered by Chef Dylan Tulloch of Horseshoe Resort. This is great stuff. I'm going to tear into this in just a bit here.
Yours looks pretty good. Mine, I had a little bit of help with mine. He's really cute, but he's not that great with charcuterie.
Hi everybody, I want to introduce to you my assistant for this evening. This is Sage. Can you say hi, Sage?
Hi.
Sage is going to help us with the charcuterie board. Can you say charcuterie?
Sorry.
That's pretty good. Maybe meat and cheese would be easier. Can you say meat, cheese, and crackers?
Very cracker.
Alrighty, so first we're going to go wash our hands, and I'm going to put up my hair, and then we'll get all the supplies out and we'll make a charcuterie board, okay? Okay, wash now. Let's see, are they clean? Let's do a little check. Okay, nice and clean. And we have our platter, our wooden platter for our charcuterie. We have the charcuterie supplies that have been provided to us from Chef Dylan at Horseshoe Resort. And now we're just going to start. I'm going to hand you the supplies and you put them decoratively on the platter. Can you do that? Can you do that, Fernanda? Okay. Oh, we have a cheese. Yep. Because they say start with cheese and arrange it decoratively. Here's another one. Yeah. Here's some, oh, you're going to eat the charcuterie? Okay, here's some more green grapes. You can put them on there. Oh my goodness, you got a case of the dropsies. Okay, we'll leave that here and we'll wipe those off. All right. So we're already into our charcuterie board. Thank you for watching, Sage and I. This is the Tiny Terrorist and Nana. And we're going to eat this lovely charcuterie board, and we hope that you enjoy yours too.
So it doesn't quite look as nice as Jason's.
Oh, I bet you it's great. We want to thank everyone for joining us. Hope you enjoy this virtual gala. Please welcome our Development Director, Lisa Spinks.
Hello all, thank you for joining us here tonight. My name is Lisa Spinks and I'm the Development Director at Season Center for Grieving Children. We are so happy that you chose to spend time with us this evening for our 25th annual Tender Hearts Virtual Gala. We offered free registration this year to help raise awareness of Season Center's work and to inspire further support in providing our no-cost services for grieving children and families in our community. For those of you that received the VIP experience, I hope you're enjoying your wine pairing and charcuterie prepared by Chef Dylan Tulloch and that you found his tutorial earlier helpful to create your own delicious masterpiece. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say I'm looking forward to some musical entertainment from the incredibly talented Canadian country music icon, Jason McCoy. We are very lucky to have Jason and Carey of Pure Country host this evening's gala. Jason and Carey are longtime supporters of Season Center. From board members, celeb ambassadors, and tonight's hosts and entertainers, we're grateful for everything that you do. Thank you to you both. For the nightcap portion of our evening, we're excited to bring the adults in the audience some laughs from comedians Carla Collins and Humble Howard, because laughter is the best medicine. Am I right? That and maybe one. But I would be remiss not to acknowledge the main reason we're here, and that's to support Season Center's programs. Our programming team, led by Joan Kennedy, Natasha Manzoni, and Danielle Coates, remain dedicated to providing support to our families. The challenges we faced since the start of the pandemic provided us with the opportunity to think outside the box, learn new skills, and adapt. In 2020, we began providing virtual peer support groups for children, teens, young adults, and caregivers. And to bring even more of the magic of Season Center into our families' homes, we created packages filled with the materials participants need so we can work through activities together during virtual groups. The silver lining of the pandemic is our new online format, which has allowed us to expand our reach and grow our community. And this would not be possible without the generous contributions of our volunteers, donors, and sponsors. You are the essence of Season Center. Thank you so much. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our gala committee who worked tirelessly to plan this virtual event in a few short months. Thank you to Samantha Bergeron, our gala chair and secretary on the board, Jessica Kippis, board member and former program participant, Jennifer Farrell, former gala chair and former board member, Leanne Brown from Motley Vigman, and Jillian Bowman from JMS Law. Thank you to Rolly Ramy, volunteer managing director and co-founder of Season Center. We also have several event volunteers that helped us behind the scenes and delivered our VIP packages for everyone tonight. Thank you all. And to Courtney McFadden, my teammate and coworker, thank you for bringing the learnings from last year's virtual gala to help elevate the gala experience this year for everyone and for launching our first online silent auction. Grief can be an intensely isolating experience. Season Center is here to remind families they're not alone in their grief. We're committed to working with community members, schools, organizations to build resilience in children, strengthen families, and empower the community to grow from grief. On behalf of the staff, our board of directors, the gala committee, and most importantly, our families, we thank you for joining us tonight and helping us to celebrate this milestone year. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Celebrate with us as we share stories, testimonials from our families and volunteers. And please share this video with friends in your network that might not know who we are and what we do. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the remainder of your evening, and we'll talk with you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa, and welcome to the Season Center. At this point, I'd like to introduce another Lisa who's an integral part of the Season Center. She is our board president, Lisa Hillstrom. She's got a few words and a special presentation.
Good evening. I am Lisa Hillstrom, president of the board of directors of the Season Center for Grieving Children. As you know, Season Center was established in 1995 in loving memory of Samantha and Jessica Ramy, who died in a tragic accident in January of that year. Their father, Rolly, is a co-founder of the center and has been an integral part of its success over the years. As managing director, Rolly has been instrumental in ensuring the center remains available to provide support to those when a loved one dies. During the pandemic, some charities have had to close their doors. We are fortunate that under Rolly's leadership, the doors of Season Center remained open, and we are thankful. Today we are honoring Rolly for the continued support, guidance, and compassion that he has provided over the past 25 years. Rolly, you're a kind-hearted individual and so deserving of this recognition. On behalf of the board of directors, I'm honored to present to you this Legacy Award acknowledging 25 years of healing hearts with hope.
One of my most comforting thoughts in the death of my daughters was that it gave rise to the spark that initiated Season Center. I have always said the way to measure one's life's success is by the number of people one helps. I am hopeful that one day I will have accomplished helping as many people as my daughters have through their own untimely deaths. Season Center has always been a we thing and not a me thing. And while I am humbled to be acknowledged, there are so many other individuals that have taken Season from helping a few individuals in 1995 to currently helping over 700 individuals annually, and hopefully many more in the years to come. So on behalf of the collective we, I accept this acknowledgement and wish to thank you all for helping me in the meaningful ways you can and bringing renewed hope to so many individuals.
Thank you, Lisa, and congratulations, Rolly. What an amazing legacy. Now join us as we take a walk down 25 years of memories with the Season Center.
What a remarkable presentation. Thank you so much to Joan Kennedy. She's our Season Center Program Director. She put these memories together, and what a perfect person to do that. Joan has been with the center since the very early days. Now, I myself joined a little bit later. I did a tour of the Season Center, not really expecting to get involved and roll up my sleeves and really dig down with the group. But as soon as I saw the work that they're doing there, I couldn't help but get involved. Now, Jason, you've been involved in this a little bit longer than I have.
I've been involved quite a few years, and it's just an amazing center, and they really do amazing work changing people's lives and helping children and families through the grieving process. Please join us in making welcome Paula and Luke as they share their experiences and what the Season Center has meant to their lives.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to participate in the 25th annual Tender Hearts Gala to support Season Center for Grieving Children. Although this year's gala looks very different to those in the past, the significance of this event is still so important to the work in the community that Seasons does. My name is Paula Coulter, and this is my youngest son, Luke. I'm a former participant at the center and currently volunteer as a buddy in 2 of this season's virtual groups. Luke is a current participant. Our family's grief journey began over 12 years ago when my husband Tim unexpectedly experienced seizures and slipped into a coma. Tim had gone from a vibrant, active, and healthy husband and father to being declared brain dead within a few days. Our world had turned upside down in a very short time. I was now an only parent raising 2 boys, aged 3 and 6. Tonight, we will share with you 2 different stories. I will share my grief journey, and Luke will share his. I recall walking into the center about 6 months after Tim's death. I felt a sense of peace and hope during that first meeting with Joan. I began to understand that the programs may be able to provide us with the support and guidance that would allow us to heal our broken hearts. Having attended the On Our Own group and participating in the caregiver rooms, there is no other place or another group of people that were able to provide the empathy, understanding, care, and compassion for our situation than those individuals that sat in this very living room with me. I believe that they understood my pain and grief better than anyone else in my world because they were living a similar grief. My grief and that of my boys was very different. I spent the first year focusing on their needs and was numb to a lot of the world. Joshua was very quiet, and it is very best to protect me from feeling sad. And Luke's experience was different from all of us. His experience was both emotional and physical. He didn't quite comprehend that his daddy wasn't coming home again, and this was devastating to him. Season Center is a very powerful place. It was here that I learned that the myriad of feelings that myself and my sons were experiencing were normal. We were given the tools and skills to cope with the overwhelming grief that we felt. We learned that grief can be brutal and ugly, but we could be resilient and learn new ways to celebrate and cherish the memories that we have of our loved ones. Seasons helped to bring this new family of 3 together and make us stronger and braver to face our future. A while after leaving the center, I was approached by Joan to see if I would consider volunteering. I used my experience to provide support to others like so many had done for me in the past. Being a part of their lives and the grief that they shared was a privilege and something that I hold very dear. I was also able to work with the programming staff at Seasons for a social work placement, where I saw firsthand the dedication and care that the staff have for each person that comes through the front doors. Not only are they facilitating each of the groups, they're developing activities, providing community resources and information, and supporting the families that are at the center. And this year has been a challenge with having to be nimble and adapt programming to adjust to the need to go virtual due to COVID. Not an easy task, but I have seen in my own 2 groups that what they have developed is working. The kids are engaged, participating, and working through their grief in healthy ways.
Hello, my name's Luke, and my dad died when I was 3 years old. When I was younger, I found that I was trying to change who I was because I felt that I needed to fit in. I was known as the kid whose dad had died. Seasons helped me realize that I could be myself no matter the trauma that I had experienced through my dad's death. And I was not just the kid whose dad had died. I don't really remember much about attending the group when I was little, but I remember 2 specific buddies that I thought were really cool and I could relate to them both. We would often hang out in the volcano room, safely getting rid of our anger. One of my most special memories is the balloon release. I wrote a little note thinking it was just like a text to my dad, a message just between the 2 of us. When I left group the first time at the age of 9, I was feeling way more comfortable with the grief I was dealing with than I came in with. Then over the last couple of years, I struggled with feelings of anxiety, anger, and depression. Having a conversation with my mom about some of the options to work through these issues, we discussed about going back to Seasons and joining a teen group. I have learned through this group that it is okay to be myself and be able to show others my emotions. I have learned healthy ways to deal with the big feelings, and most importantly, I have learned through all my time at Seasons that I'm not alone in my grief. The buddies and the other participants have shown me that what I feel is okay and totally normal.
I really want to thank Paula and Luke for sharing their stories. It's really difficult sometimes to share those intimate details, but it's so important. And I would encourage you to donate to help more people like Paula and Luke so that they don't feel alone. One of the ways you can do that is through the online silent auction. And I'd like to introduce Dale and Charlie from the Cool FM Morning Show to tell you a little bit more about the items that are up for bids.
Dude,
What?
what's with the Johnny Cash outfit?
Didn't you get the memo?
No?
I got a note. Jason McCoy sent me a note. He said tonight's Western attire. So I'm just being a team player.
I didn't get that memo.
We're Dale and Charlie, and welcome to the silent auction for the Tender Hearts Gala in support of Season Center. Man, have we got some amazing things for you to bid on this evening.
And Dale is not one of them. Lucky for you.
You don't want one of me. Believe me, my wife does it sometimes. But here's your chance to get your hands on some things you really want, including a 3-night getaway at JW Marriott,
Wow.
overlooking Lake Rosso, courtesy of Melchior Management. So nice. Also, a Napoleon Grill, the Prestige 500, courtesy of Napoleon Home Comfort.
We also have an opportunity for you to be catered to by Chef Dylan.
From Horseshoe Resort, coming right to your resort and cooking dinner for 8 for you and your friends and taking away the mess too. Best part of it, huh? Nice. And how about this? An advertising package where you can put your money to work on Rock 95 and Cool FM, valued at over $2,500, which is just enough to get on our show.
That's right.
These items and many more things tonight as we look at the silent auction of the Tender Hearts Gala in support of Season Center. Get ready.
Okay, now, let's get you registered to bid. Click on the link below to find the online silent auction. Gala goers, you're going to find the link on the website, www.grievingchildren.com/gala, or at the link below the YouTube video. Click on the online silent auction link to get started. To register, pretty simple. Enter your email or cell phone number and create a password. Make sure to include your first and last name. And then here's how it works. There's 2 types of items. There's the sealed bids items, where you're going to put in your strongest and final bid for your chance to win the item. But that's it. No going back to see how others are bidding. And then there's the regular auction items. There are minimum bids, and you can outbid each other, and you'll receive text notifications if you're outbid. So keep checking in all weekend. The auction closes on Sunday, April 25th at 9 p.m. So good luck and get bidding.
Welcome to the rest and relaxation segment of the live auction in support of Tender Hearts Gala. You might recognize this fireplace, or you might not. It could be at JW Marriott's resort overlooking Lake Rosseau. Charlie, what are you?
I'm unpacking. I'm ready. This is the first time I've had a suitcase open in months.
How would you like to unpack and enjoy a fabulous weekend? 3-night stay, as a matter of fact, at the JW Marriott Resort, courtesy of Melchior Management. You can, and not only that, it comes with your chance to enjoy dining and the many activities, including a trip to their legendary spa. All this can be yours in support of this great cause. But what you need to do is you need to think about the bid, because this prize package does not include chips, but it does include everything else that comes with it. And it's valued at over $4,000. Can you crunch a little quieter?
Now it's time to bring out the hardware. This is an opportunity for you to elevate your backyard and turn it really into an oasis with this brand new, shiny, smooth barbecue.
It is the Prestige 500, and listen to this. Are you ready? There are 4 main burners. There is a rear burner, and there are infrared burners.
Now, what I have learned about infrared is it basically means it gets really hot.
That enables you to bring together 8 different cooking styles, which goes all the way from rare to British cooking at its best. That's the amazing part about it. But wait, if you're looking for the big feed, 30 burgers will fit on here. 30 burgers. That means me and 2 of my friends, if they don't eat too much, are good to go.
Let's confirm.
Look at that. Oh, but wait, there's more.
There's more. Not only do you get this beautiful barbecue, but of course you get the utensils to go with it. Brand new, shiny cooking utensils, and every woman's favorite, a cover to keep things clean.
So this is your chance to put in a bid on this Prestige 500 Napoleon Grill from Napoleon Home Comfort. You won't be disappointed. What are you doing?
It's Friday night.
Yeah?
Gummy worms, wine. What could be better? Unless I have my own personal chef or something. Do you know one?
As luck would have it, yes. And you know what? Chef Dylan of Horseshoe Resort wants to come to your house and cater a meal for 8. Think of it. You invite 7 of your friends overwards, and Chef Dylan's going to take care of it all, from the food to the cleanup. You get to choose even the type of food we're talking about. Would you like barbecue? Maybe you want to go Hawaiian, tiki. What about Mexican? Oh, Italian? We start off with some hors d'oeuvres, go to the Prosecco to go along with that, then it's on to the main course, and afterwards, he'll take care of all the cleanup, and you just get to say to your friends, how was that for a Friday evening, or a Saturday evening, or whenever you choose. Chef Dylan of Horseshoe Resort, who's a big supporter of Season Center and actually catered tonight's charcuterie board. And tell me that isn't delicious. Here's your chance to have Chef Dylan do it for you.
Hey there, we are now at the Cool FM Rock 95 headquarters.
And we've got something that's pretty cool. Like that?
Nice.
Not bad, huh? How's about this? An advertising package with Rock 95 and Cool FM. That's right, you're looking to get your local business out there. What better way than by teaming up with your 2 favorite locally owned radio stations?
Not only that, this package includes our digital team as well to help with your advertising needs.
It's the total package, and it can be yours because it's a $2,500 package from Rock 95 and Cool FM. It's time for you to start thinking about that. Let's make your business a success.
Not only that, we'll throw in a Rock 95 ball sack and a Cool FM shower radio.
In limited supply. Hey, that does it for us. We're Dale and Charlie. Cool Mornings on 107.5 Cool FM. Like what you see there? Well, there's those items and many more. But all you have to do is go to the link, and you can find out all of the great items you can bid on in support of the Tender Hearts Gala for Season Center. And now, back to the gala.
Have a great night.
Thanks, Dale and Charlie. Boy, we've got some great items up for bids. Get your bids in early and often. And remember, all the money that's raised through the silent auction goes back to support the children through the Season Center for Grieving Children. I know that I have my eye on the barbecue, and I also know that this guy also might have his eye on the barbecue. I sense a bidding war coming. Now to our musical entertainment. I know him as my co-host at Pure Country 106 and also as a friend, but a lot of people know him as Canadian country music star Jason McCoy. He is joining us this evening. You know what? He's been a supporter of Season Center for many years. In fact, he's an honorary chairperson. So please welcome Jason McCoy.
You know, it's hard to believe that the pandemic began over a year ago. And I know we wish we could be in the same room celebrating tonight, but I know that that day will come very soon. But I want to play you a song that I wrote at the beginning of the pandemic with my friend Jim Payetta. We'd been watching the news and we were seeing communities just like ours being affected all around the world. And it just reminds us that we will get through this, and we'll get through this together.
World of worry, world of change, world of lives rearranged, joined together in song. We are one, we are one. We have doubts, we have fears, we share the hurt, we share the tears, but we are here, we're not alone. We are one, we are one. Oh, the miles may divide us, ah, but love will unite us. We will rise and overcome, 'cause we are one, we are one. One world, one fight, one heart, one life. Hey, underneath one sun, one breath, one sky, one song, one cry. Raise your voice and sing along, 'cause we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. Keep the faith, take a stand, and be still across the land. We will win, this will be done. We are one, we are one. Oh, the miles may divide us, but the music will unite us. We will rise and overcome, 'cause we are one, we are one. One world, one fight, one heart, one life. Hey, underneath one sun, one breath, one sky, one song, one cry. Raise your voice and sing along, 'cause we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. Ooh-hoo. We are one, we are one, we are one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason McCoy. Thank you so much for participating this evening, Jason. Every time I see you perform, I think how talented you are and how lucky I am to work with you at Pure Country 106.
Well, back at you, I get to work with you every day. Now, speaking of talent, we have some fantastic comedians for you. We want to warn viewers that the upcoming content is not meant for children. We're on to the nightcap portion of our event. Carla Collins is an award-winning comedian, actress, radio and television host, and a reality show, Carlawood, is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Now, she recently launched her new podcast web series, Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo, where comedy, music, and spirituality all come together for the perfect three-way. Now, Carla is the creator of something called comedic meditation. It's a revolutionary new concept where after delivering 30 minutes of stand-up, she actually leads the audience through guided meditation. Now, a fierce animal lover, she lives in Los Angeles with her rescue, Dr. Zira, and she has become what she says is the cliche of the white woman who takes her chihuahua everywhere.
Now, joining Carla will be Humble Howard. He's a national radio and television performer for the past 40 years, as well as a stand-up comedian and speaker. He's the co-host of the Humble and Fred Show, which is now heard daily on one of the most downloaded podcasts in the country. Now, as a comic, he's been the opening act for many performers. These are big names: Joan Rivers, Howie Mandel. Howard is the father of 2 daughters, and he's currently, as he says, in a committed relationship with his Boston Terrier, Stan. Give it up for Carla and Howard.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. My name's Howard, and along with the fabulous chanteuse, Carla Collins, we appreciate you having us here for your charity function and your dining and dancing pleasure. We're just going to have a little fun. I know these are weird times. Carla and I are so happy to be part of your charity. Love working. You know, usually working live in Barrie is one of the highlights of our year because we get to come together with all our friends in Barrie. We have a good time. And but this year we're doing it virtually, like a lot of stuff has happened for all of us in the last 14 months. Carla, let's talk a little bit about, oh, by the way, first of all, you look fabulous.
Thank you. It is a gala soiree. It is the 25th annual Tender Hearts Gala. So I hope you enjoy that. I have a beautiful velvet cold shoulder top on and Joe Fresh pajama pants. Because that's how we roll on Zoom. So I'll tell you a bit about the charity, and I appreciate you playing 1940s music so later I can do my femme fatale shtick.
Yes, I can't wait, man.
So this is the Tender Hearts, as I mentioned, 25th annual. They're calling it the Silver Linings Jubilee. The Season Center has put this together.
Oh, sorry, sorry about that sound effect. I honestly I really have no idea where that came from. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Please continue.
Okay, I thought it was like I just downloaded new breasts, and these ones come with Pandora, so I thought it was mine, and they were malfunctioning. By the way, just to give a little breathing space before I talk about something serious.
Yes, please do.
I'm also staying on a horse farm with someone, my best friend, whom I refer to as my gay fiance, and it is just in between Barrie and Collingwood. So I'm like in the hood. I'm a local now. So I'm very pleased to be giving back to this wonderful charity. Again, Tender Hearts, brought to you by the Season Center, 25th annual. Now they're calling it the Silver Linings Jubilee because they found this year, Howard, they could reach out to many more people. Being online, I mean, obviously there's a downside. We don't get to be live in person or hugging up on each other, but this way their programs, which are free to the community, can reach so many more people. The proceeds of this gala benefit children who are grieving the death of a family member so that they don't feel so alone. So I want to get this housekeeping out of the way now before we begin our shenanigans. We would like you throughout our podcast comedy All Dress Hybrid to give generously, to donate to the link that is below us. And when you do so, you give hope and provide comfort to someone who needs it most.
Very well said. And, you know, it's fun for me. Carla and I have known each other for a long time. We have a storied history together. We've both done radio shows. I still host a show you can see behind me, Humble and Fred. Of course, behind Carla is your podcast video. I don't even know the name of it's. What is a video podcast? It's like a television podcast.
It's like a web series, Howard.
A web series. Thank you.
Yeah. Carla Collins rocks the Elmo.
Carla Collins rocks the Elmo. That's where you can see Carla do her thing. I've been a guest on it. And now here we are doing this thing together. I said it was kind of strange because both of us have worked in Toronto radio at the same time. There was a time when maybe I was a little bit mean to Carla, but that's before I knew. What? Sorry. A tiny bit mean. But that was before I knew her. I was only acting out because of rage and jealousy. I'm over that now. But I wanted to ask you, I had a couple thoughts because, we've both done morning shows in with lots of other people. But for some of the people watching, now obviously I still do the Humble and Fred show, but talk to us a little bit, if you can, about some of the radio you did in Toronto. Because I know a lot of people know you from television.
Yeah, obviously they know me from television, some of my earlier screen work, and my interpretive dance moves. Some of them patent pending.
A lot of people credit Carla for inventing a lot of the things we take for granted now in yoga. Some of her magic moves that were lost when she hosted a morning show.
Bikram schmikram. Watch my moves.
Wait a second. Let's pivot for a second. Did you meet Bikram? Did you tell me that story? You met him once, or?
No, I have not met him. My older gentleman lover met him at one point, but I did not. He was quite the guru, as you know, in the Los Angeles. But everybody's a guru in Los Angeles. I myself am thinking of just starting my own cult and being the first female cult leader, and I will be Ellen Ron Hubbard. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, it's just coming. Where's my thing? Hang on a second.
Yeah, where is your thing?
There we go. Where is your thing?
So Howard and I, of course, obviously have more sexual tension than Mazzoli and Isles, but we did not ever work together.
No, we didn't.
We didn't. I often was fired, and then Howard and Fred would come and replace me. That happened once or twice. I don't know. We do sometimes in reverse. But apparently I have the distinction on the Wikipedia of being the first woman to anchor a major morning market radio.
Really? And I know, well, you worked with Steve Anthony for about a minute and a half. I remember that. And then you hosted that show, I think it was on 99 for a while, for a few years. Yeah. Well, listen, I've been looking forward to doing this. As I say, every year coming up to Barrie and either hosting the show with you. Oh, there's the doggy. How many dogs do you have there on the farm?
I have 17,000. There are 3 dogs.
I've got 101 Dalmatians.
There are 101 cats, which, prior to coming to the farm, Howard, I was terrified of cats. I was like, I get enough rejection in LA. Get away with your cats. And since the pandemic, I'm now a vegan. I'm now a cat woman. I just watched Firefly Lane, and more shocking of all, I'm a Katherine Heigl fan. I don't know what's next. It's either Scientology or I'm like, my goodness, Caillou is charming. I don't know what's going to happen to me next. Okay, so there are a lot of animals here.
The pandemic has been tough on all of us. But I only mentioned that Carla's got some livestock. I believe there's a Bess, the cow, will be coming in for her milking. Just in case you see a giant animal head, it's a moose that she keeps in her home. What is that? Is it a Great Dane that's there?
It's a new rescue Great Dane, Duke Jr. And no, there are no cows. I only milk my jokes on this farm. Howard is.
Oh man, we are off, ladies and gentlemen. We're off to a flying start. I can tell you, for me, I wanted to do this, and I want to tell everyone why why you're watching us do this versus, now here's Howard doing 15 minutes of stand up to no one. Only because both of us have done stand up shows on Zoom, like a lot of things in the last 14 months. Everyone's adjusting. That's why we're doing this virtually versus coming up and do it in front of you. How's your experience been with doing Zoom shows?
Well, I always joke that every time each Zoom show causes the comedian to have a complete and utter nervous breakdown. But I'm kind of kidding, because I've mostly done. When I do it, I always have at least one warm body in the room, and of course livestock and several. I know the jokes, but I really find that helps. And I think it helps too, Howard, because when I do have the broadcast background, and often on TV, a lot of the TV shows I had didn't have a live studio audience, or on radio. So apparently I have no trouble talking to the abyss. And I'm also a comedian in LA, where often there were more people at my last colonic than some of the shows.
Oh, please.
But also I do a lot of my comedic meditations, and people seem to prefer those because at least they can drool and lie there and not have to worry about driving home, and they don't feel judged, and they kind of like the privacy.
We're going to talk a little bit about the comedic meditation. We're also going to talk about a new album that you have come out with. I can tell you my experience. I've done probably 3 or 4 stand-up hosting Zoom shows, and it's kind of cool because I did one where there was like 75 people in the square, and they were sort of typing ha and laughing a little bit.
Right.
It's
so sad.
It's like, it really is. You see people giving you the thumbs up, and you're like, oh, thanks. That joke I usually gets more of a reaction than that. But I can tell you, the people who are watching us, again, we're thrilled to be part of your event. And we really would obviously rather be able to see you smiling, hopefully, laughing, hopefully. But I think what you said about our background, every day for, I've done television and radio, but radio for a long time. And you're sort of doing your act, but in a way where it doesn't pause for the laughs that we would do in a club. But I knew that I thought we would have fun doing this together, because there aren't a lot of stand-ups that have the background that we have, that you have, especially on television. Whereas you say, oftentimes it's just you looking down the barrel here and having a conversation of a comedic manner. And, what we've just proved is nothing is more boring than somebody explaining comedy. Please, Howard, tell us how.
Yes, the deconstruction of a joke is basically a form of birth control.
That's right. Nothing.
No one wants that.
Oh, man. Now you have I understand, Carla, you have an album.
Yes, Howard. Do you have a question for me?
Actually, I'll get to the album in a bit. Here's what I wanted to talk about. We're all doing this weird pandemic thing. What has been, just off the top of your head, what have been some of the surprises that you've maybe thought about? Like, what surprised you, the last 14 months?
Well, I think the first thing was how naive I was that I thought it would be a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We were all like, because at first it was like an adventure, and everybody was sort of, well, we don't know about this. And it was, our generations, let's get through this together. And I think when we blew past the year point, everyone's COVID fatigue. And I'm like, I now have imaginary friends with benefits. We're getting closer.
Oh my God.
The walk of shame. I think I've been very blessed. What surprised me was, maybe coming back to Canada. As I said, I've tried a lot of different things. Previously to being here on a farm, I have never been north of Eglinton in Toronto, and that, I'm a city gal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm loving being on the farm. As I said, going vegan. I just think for me, the way to get through this was to sort of open it up. And I don't mean to be trite, but to a bit of a sense of adventure, and to try and keep everybody laughing. Like, comedians are like fifth responders, right? We're not exactly on the front
exactly.
lines.
It's not an essential service.
No,
it's
absolutely not.
This person needs to be intubated. Let's get Kenny Robinson. That's a comedian.
The Godfather himself.
Exactly.
So
I can
thought
tell you,
maybe just be the rodeo clown and keep everybody entertained as much as possible was a contribution.
I think the surprises for me have been more about, at first it was a bit of a novelty. There was a whole time there, we're all in this together. And then the first time I heard about somebody that was an anti-masker, I went, you're not in it with me. Like, I think that's what surprised me. The anti-mask, the anti-vax, the people that are like, the virus isn't real. I had a conversation with somebody, and, I don't like to get into it with people. It's almost like talking about religion and and such with people, or politics with people, when you start talking about the vaccines and are they, efficacies and things, I just sort of stay out of that conversation. But I was talking to a guy last fall, and I knew he was an anti-masker. And I just stayed out of the conversation until I heard him say this. He's talking about how the virus isn't real and blah, blah, blah. And he said something like, some kind of virus, huh? The only way to find out you have it is to get a test. I'm like, and I'm like, you mean like cancer and every other disease in the world? Exactly. That's why I said, and then once he said that, I couldn't stop. I go, oh yeah, it's the only way you find out you have a broken leg is if anyway. So that surprised me. That whole thing surprised me, because when this all went down in February, March of 2020, I will be honest, I was a little bit frightened because I have children and family and all. But once we all kind of settled in, I was kind of like you. I went, well, let's see where this takes us. Let's see let's see what human beings are really like. And that's what I think I've learned through this, is you get to see what folks are actually like.
And I think what it produced, to be honest, is that it's like everyone is an exaggerated version of themselves, or on steroids. Like the really great people in my life became even better, honestly, where I'm like, what are you even? You should be in a Marvel movie because you're obviously superhuman. And then the ones that were they were kind of even douchier. Yeah. And so I was also surprised at how polarizing and political it got, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be really honest, Howard. I'm not jazzed to get a vaccine. Like I don't even take Advil. I would love for this to go away if I just used a dream catcher and some essential oils. Yeah,
by the way, they say that works. They're like, hey, if you want to get back to normal, get like a thing you put up in your bedroom and put some essential oils in your eyeballs.
Well, those are two of the ingredients of my homemade Botox. Just add some Elmer's glue and some almond milk. And that's how I've kept up my glamour.
Well, listen, if anyone is rocking the glam pandemic, it's you. The glamdemic is what your album should have been called.
Where were you when I was naming my album? Exactly.
By the way, what is the name of your album that we'll get to later?
So do you want me to answer now, or what? I don't understand.
Now, what is the name of the album? We'll talk about it later.
It's called Pandemic. It's a clever word. Hey, Howard.
I'm sorry, you warbled there. It was called what?
Pandemic.
Oh, Pandemic.
I've changed the M for a P.
Yeah, it's funny the way that that word you use it. The people that you sort of were on the fence, and the way they went, you go, oh, yeah, I see. You're even a bigger douchebag. I will say this, we all want things to be normal. It's human nature to not want to have a lot of change around you. And this was a change of, beyond our imagination. There are some things, though, I still find curious. Like I'm all about, wearing a mask. I don't want to, be that person. But I still don't get the people who are wearing a mask alone in their own cars. I don't know. You know who those guys remind me of? Those are the same people you see wearing shorts too early. Like it's like a nice day in late February. The shorts guy, put some pants on. But I just saw, this is true. I saw somebody on the way home like, you have a mask on. There's nobody else in the car, and you're not an Uber driver. So
it's very odd. I know. I saw that in LA, and then people were saying they were running into poles and stuff because they weren't getting enough oxygen. I don't know. I think those maybe are myths, but I haven't understood that. But my friends, I don't know about yours, a lot of them are falling into one of two categories. Like they're, haven't left the house in a year even to walk their dog. I'm not joking.
No, I know.
And then the others are like, let me lick this subway seat.
No, I know. I have a friend who lives up there in Collingwood and he was telling me the other day that his wife hasn't gone to a grocery store and or any other outside experience. And as you say, then there are some people that are still licking stripper poles. I don't know those people.
Welcome to our orgy.
We're having a tea party.
What?
Yeah, welcome to the orgy. As long as you're wearing a mask.
Now I do have a little nugget for you.
Yes, please.
You know that the cat houses, since we're playing 40s music.
That's right.
But when they opened up the brothels, and this is still in play, there are only 2 positions that they're allowing. Can you guess them?
Wait a second. Are you telling me there's a COVID protocol for whoring?
Yes.
All right.
Don't ask how I know this, Howard, but my business was decimated and I had to pay the rent. No.
What is comedic meditation?
This is and everybody always guesses the doggy style, and then the other position that's allowed is reverse cowgirl. As I joke, unless you're in Utah, when it's reverse mortgage cowgirl, but that's absolute true. That's absolutely true. There's no kissing, and it's just those 2 positions. That way, you don't spread the virus. You'll catch something else.
You know, I had wondered where we were going to go during this charity fundraiser. And I think what we've all learned is this is where we're going. I love it, man. I love the fact that there's a COVID protocol for now almost every walk of life. I do find some of the rules, I don't know, a little loosey-goosey. You know, you walk in. I walked into into Sherway the other day, and there was a young person there, you know. I'm so woke, I don't even see gender. Just a human being, you know, just a person there and they had a desk. I don't think they were a trained medical person at all, because they were just sitting there with a box of Kleenex and a spritzy thing going, "How do you feel?" I'm going, "Pretty good." He goes, "Come on in." And I'm like, "That's it? That's all you want to know? How do you feel today, sir?" I go, "Not bad. You know, my back's a bit sore." And I just thought that and then some places you go in, they take your temperature.
Yeah, the Men in Black thing. Like, I know, and that's always like Sephora. And I'm there. Yeah. Is this the most at-risk place?
No,
because
I know.
It's more strict than most hospitals.
So those are the things. Like I said, the pandemic has been, I don't know, like I think about my parents, my dad being the age that, you know, he was, they all went to war and such in World War II. And, you know, like, and I think about the sacrifice that other generations made. And I know you've probably made this joke, but it's a standard one where you think about those people in London, you know, every night they were being bombed and, you know, they're like, "Oh, I can't go to Starbucks," you know, and I mean, we're just the biggest sucks. Our generation we're so pissy about how inconvenienced we are. And yet there are real people out there that are being affected. There are real people that have had to go to work through this. And I will say this, and I don't, for the most part, my family, myself, people I know, my friends like you, have all been pretty safe, you know, and thank goodness we've all kind of got through it together. But there are people whose lives have been very affected. And that's why I have no time for the vaccine's not real. The only way to know I'm a moron is if I open my mouth, you know?
Well, exactly. And then again, you know, when you mentioned the show earlier, and I was speaking with a couple of vets, Canadian vets, they're called the Singing Soldiers. And I said, "How do you boys feel when people, you know, compare this to war?" And they're absolutely furious about that, because it's not, as you said, because we're binging Netflix. Like,
that's right.
You know, I mean, so everything is perspective, right? And I've started every comedy show by saying, I hope everybody's safe and staying protected. And it's such a fine line. We've got cancel culture. We know people are actually suffering, and I'm like doing jokes like, you know, it can spread by farts. Who would have thought that pull my finger would be considered uttering a death threat? You know, like, so it's so difficult to know, because I'm as sensitive as a nipple. I get it. I cry in Geico commercials. So it's just always kind of hard to know what's appropriate.
I'm sorry. I'm still laughing at you. Just the way you look. What's always killed me about you is the way, if I do a fart joke, it's like, "Ooh, he's gross," but you do it, and I'm like, "That's very classy. This girl is classy."
If I wasn't such a lady, Howard.
Yes. You know, it's funny because I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, I'm involved with somebody, and we've had to be, you know, during the first lockdowns, we were very careful about, you know, being just with each other and only a few people in our pod and such. How has that been? Who would you come into contact with beside Dr. Doolittle and all the animals?
Yes, unless a horse test is positive, I'm pretty safe.
That's
But
right.
well,
Wait a minute.
I joked at the beginning. I did have my older gentleman lover was in my bubble, and this is like at the time I was.
I'm sorry. Is that a metaphor? I apologize. He was in your bubble. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, is that what you call it in your bubble? Like you could just have certain people,
No,
right?
I'm sorry. I was being a juvenile idiot. So you did a fart joke. I can do that. I can do them. My gentleman, he was in my bubble. Oh, really? Is it bubble night tonight? I'm sorry. Please continue.
Oh dear. Next time I'm interviewing you. No, so at the time I was seeing a much older gentleman and a much younger one for Feng Shui. And I joked right off the gate. First of all, the young guy would have killed me. So it chose the older gentleman lover.
Yes.
Also got me into the grocery stores at 7 a.m. So you've got to look for the perks.
Go shopping for comfortable shoes. That's funny.
Well, I joke because he really is. He's 6'5", Howard, and he is completely jacked. He does look a bit like a lot like a Jack Joe Biden. And I always joke like he is rock hard, like he is super rock hard.
All right.
It could be early rigor mortis, but I don't care at this point.
It doesn't matter.
Am I going to meet somebody new right now?
No, you stay with that. I'm in a new relationship, relatively. I met my love late in 2017, and she thinks I'm great. I think she's great. I was going to say, though, she thinks I'm okay. She thinks I could be better, though. I think like a lot of women, like she thinks, like I love everything about her. You know, she's funny and makes me laugh, and she's warm. And I would say she loves everything about me, but there are things about me she's constantly trying to make better. Well, for instance, what do you mean, Howard?
I'm right there with you. I'm just not interrupting.
That's all right. No, I'm just doing my own bit now. She would like me to eat slower, and I'm like, I didn't know that I ate fast. I just eat. I don't know if is that a man thing or not. So I was like, what do you mean? And I get my back up. I'm like, I don't eat that fast. She goes, dude, you have food on your back. I did. And I'm like, I guess because I'm just like shoveling it in. And like,
you're like a cartoon, it just shows up in your neck still intact.
No, I don't. And it's funny because she's like, honey, just put, I never knew you were supposed to put your fork down. I didn't know that etiquette. So she says, you got food on your back. And then she takes my glasses a couple days later and she's always cleaning them. Because the truth is, I only clean them. Well, I never clean them. She takes it. She takes my glasses and she's cleaning them. She goes, sweetheart, you have macaroni on your glass. I'm like, well, I guess maybe I do eat a tad fast.
Like a sneeze guard for you.
Just like this.
I was going to say it's oddly specific, but now I'm kind of on team Rachel on this. Yes. I think she has a point. If you have macaroni on your glasses. Yeah,
when you're and I'm a 61-ish-year-old man, you think at this point in my life I'd have some kind of semblance, but no, I will say that getting through the pandemic, having somebody, in your life, I can't imagine how people have gone back to dating. But apparently, well, with that report, here's Carla. Here's my friend Carla Collins. First, we spoke about hookers, but what's happening in the dating world?
Well, I'll give you a couple things, Howard, and yes. And I that was going to be, by the way, one of my questions for you, because you and your loved one, whom I adore, have been together through the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm rocking the long distance thing, but I will say this. I found that a lot of guys, and I get it, everybody's cooped up at home, everybody's losing it a bit. A lot of fellas, in my opinion, have been confusing Messenger with Tinder.
Oh, have
the
they?
way my father used to confuse casinos with a day job. And I say this because it's like the only man I should be frightened of on Facebook is Zuckerberg. And yeah. I don't even touch Messenger anymore. It's just, it's crazy.
Well, what do guys do? I guess they feel somehow they know you and they get familiar very quickly.
familiar. Well, I made a very wrong move yesterday. I will never make this mistake again, where I don't, because the kittens were in a cute position. I was doing yoga, and I said, this must be like goat yoga, but more annoying, because, the goats probably don't try to nibble at your feet and hang off your ponytail. And I took a picture, and my feet happened to be in the picture, and well, that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
The pretty feet guys.
Wow.
Yeah, they're out there.
I nearly started dating women. I really don't ever want to see those comments again. So
give us. Are you saying that guys, as soon as they saw your feet, they're like, "Hi, Carla, you don't remember me, but I saw your feet."
Well, several things, and a lot of, and you've heard this, I'm sure, on your show. A lot of people's exes are appearing. Like, I mean, if you needed to serve someone a summons, just have a plague, because apparently they're like, well, we don't have much time left. So if anyone wanted to do you or wanted to get back, apparently they've all resurfaced too, like zombies.
That's funny.
So, and I do understand from the kids that sadly, Tinder, Bumble, Grindr are all very, I mean, I'm on Grindr because I want to know where the nearest gay guy is so we can have a kiki and a makeover, but I wear a mask. But yeah, apparently they're booming, hun. They're very active.
Well, human beings being, party animals that we are, we have to, I don't know what to do. Are we, because the stay at home order, but are we supposed to, that's really what we are. We stay at home and we order. That's all I do.
Yes.
I stay at home and I order.
Uber Eats is delivering all kinds of things, I hear.
Yes, well, I've signed up with Jubilee, which is they just send.
I've been waiting. I'm playing Howard Jew Bingo. When you said you were being juvenile, and you kind of paused on it, you're like, I'm just being juvenile. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was then. But
is it time? Is it time for Howard's Jewish jokes? Let me tell you my favorite one recently. Of course, we just passed my favorite Jew, Jesus. We just passed Easter. And I think you'll appreciate this. It's one of those jokes, like all comedians, that we have. Let me just pause and say this. Of all the people I work with and have worked with, nobody writes as much as my friend here, Carla Collins. Just nobody. I've never worked with anybody. Actually, it's not true. Other than Mike McDonald, rest in peace. Great, one of the best stand-ups that's ever been. He's the only other person I know that writes as much as you or wrote as much as you. But I have a joke.
I don't have children.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you have them. Anyway, so here's a joke I've been doing for a long time, but every Easter I do this joke. I say everyone talks about Good Friday. That's the day that Jesus, was crucified. And then Sunday, of course, is Easter Sunday. That's the day he's resurrected. I said, no one ever talks about Saturday. My theory is Saturday's the day the apostles all got together and sold his stuff on Facebook Marketplace. He comes back the next day. He's like, hey, dudes, where's my AirPods? Now, then I go on. But here's how long I've been doing that joke. When I wrote that joke, it was Saturday. They had a garage sale and they sold his Walkman. That's
oh, I love it. I love it.
That's a true story. That's how long I've done that. And every year I go, okay, what's
capsule joke?
I know. What's the new reference? So at one point, a couple years ago, he comes back and he's like, they sold all this stuff on Kijiji, and it was a and it was a Discman. I know.
The evolution of the Jewish joke.
That's right.
The Jesus joke, as it is. Okay. I know. Well, I mean, I remember, I did see Dave, I make a joke in my act, and I'll get into it this way, where when people were, complaining about what, J-Lo and Shakira wore to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, guys, we're not at the Foot Locker. I thought that's why we were fighting for rights. Like, women should be able to dress how they want. I said, if Billie Eilish wants to look like a Batman villain, she should be able to. If Lizzo wants to show her magnificent butt, she can. And my punchline is, and if I want to wear an outfit that has less material than Dane Cook's act, I should be allowed.
Very good.
And the funny thing is, we saw Dane Cook just before I came here. I mean, obviously when things were still open, and he was doing a bit from 2005 verbatim, except for he exchanged MySpace for Instagram.
That's great. That is so good. I'll tell you the joke I wrote, because I don't know if you know that I'm Jewish. Anyway, I wrote
Who
this
could
joke.
tell?
Who could tell? Listen, glasses, big nose, amazing in bed. You know
Howard,
that joke.
you don't see color and gender. I don't see creed. I don't see religion.
So when that woman in the States, I don't like to say her name because she's so vile, when she was talking about the congresswoman about the Jews and the space, the space lasers.
Yeah.
I think I told you this. I said, there's no way Jews have space lasers, because if we did, we'd never stop talking about it. The space lasers. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll space laser you. Anyway.
And you know that I've got nothing but love because I'm a Jew wannabe, and that my Hebrew Jagri name is Yum Yum Kippur. You know how hard I keep. I'm trying to get you to grandfather me into the Jewish faith, and you won't.
Yum Yum Kippur is a funny joke. Well, listen, I know you're going to find this surprising, but we are getting very close to the end of our time. I want everyone, and before we get back into talking about the season center, let's talk a little bit about. We've talked about Carla rocks the Collins. Carla.
Don't worry about it.
Carla rocks the thing.
I don't have sponsors like you. You can call it whatever you want.
Carla has rocks in the Collins. Carla Collins rocks the Elmo. Elmo and
the Alamo. What?
The Alamo.
The car rental company.
Yes.
What are you leading up to, Howard?
I'm trying to get in the sponsor mentions. I just want everyone to know Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo is the online video production that you should watch. You should also look for Carla's latest album, I Love Jews. Now, what is it called?
Yes. It's it is called I Love Jews. And I'm just trying to bring everyone together, Howard. I'm a peach that way. It's called Pandemic on Topic. And fun fact, speaking of this year, so it's going to be released on Friday. And, I very much want to, because a lot of comedians have debuted in the #1 spot or #2 spot on iTunes. So I'm funneling all the pre-order sales. I'm all 6 of them, but I'm asking everyone, it'd be great if you could pre-order this. And if other comedians told me how to get, to #1. And so I check on it. And for some inexplicable reason, Howard, I have been categorized as New Age. So it's Pandemic with the 13 tracks that all have clever, funny names. And I'm in the New Age category. So I need everyone to buy it because I've got Yanni, Kenny G, and Zamfir on my ass.
That's right. Zamfir's like, who's that woman?
And it doesn't work in reverse, because imagine if you want soothing meditation music and you're looking for a pan flute, and instead it's this ridiculous white chick talking, comparing her breast to the Property Brothers. So,
which, by the way, I've always enjoyed both of the Property Brothers that you employ. I want to let everyone can get that. It's on iTunes under meditation, and Carla Collins Comedic Meditation is available for your dining and dancing pleasure. If you want, check me out on the Humble and Fred Show. And let's just finish off. First of all, thank you very much, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this somehow. I know we have. I laughed my head off. And let's talk a little bit before we go about donating to the Season Center. That's what the gala is all about. And all the Season Center's programs are provided free of charge to the community and such and so forth.
I just want to say one thing, Howard. First of all, thank you. I so enjoyed this. And I do want to say, because you were kind of, leading the charge here, Howard, and I said this to you months ago during this pandemic, I think people can take for granted how wonderful, calming, and comforting it's been for all of us, no matter if I was in LA or Canada, to be able to tune in to you and Fred, to the Humble and Fred radio show. I'm saying this very sincerely from the bottom of my heart, because you're wonderful at what you do. You've got a sexy Jewish voice. And I think for a lot of us, it was something that was normal and comforting, something that a lot of us grew up with. and you're really good at what you do. And I love that you're no longer on radio and you can completely do your thing. So I wanted to say that.
I would just like to say, Carla, as we say so long, maybe you could, first of all, thank you for those kind words. The Colgate Hour wraps up now as Carla says goodbye. Yes,
I would like to tell people to donate, though. We need to.
Yes.
We need you to donate now. The reason we're here, the whole reason we're here. Thank you, Ken Preston, for bringing this together. But
yes, thank you,
please
Kenny.
give generously. And I know these times are tough. So imagine you're going through COVID and you're also going through grief.
Yes.
Which a lot of us have been through. And then put on top of that, that you're a child. I really can't imagine. I cannot think of a better cause. So the Tender Hearts, this whole 25th annual Silver Linings Jubilee from the Season Center is happening so we can raise money. Let's cut to the chase. And again, all the proceeds from tonight's gala benefit go to children who are grieving the death of a loved one so they don't feel so alone. Again, as Howard mentioned, the Seasons programs are free. So please give generously, donate a lot, because what a gift. You're providing hope and comfort to a little one. And I really can't think of a better cause.
Absolutely. And thanks again to Ken. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Carla Collins. And until next time, hopefully next year, we'll be able to do all this nonsense in person. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Carla and Howard, for the laughs. You know, they say laughter is the best medicine, and it certainly helps us through the grieving process. And finding laughter helps us find joy and hope.
So having said that, if you could help a grieving child, would you? Please consider doing so by making a donation this evening to go towards the yearly cost, $1,600. That supports one child through the Season Center for Grieving Children.
Now, your gift will help support a child as they navigate through the journey of grief, providing them with comfort and giving them hope. You know, hope is invaluable. So let's make it possible for a child to participate in the peer support programs offered by the Season Center this year and into the next.
And we've made it really easy for you. All you have to do to donate is click the link below.
Right there.
Should have had like a floating arm come out of nowhere. Click the link below. And just a reminder, the online silent auction, that will close at 9:00 p.m. Sunday, April 25th.
Well, we thank you all very much for joining us for what has been an amazing gala. We look forward to next year where we can see you hopefully in person. And we thank you for healing hearts with hope.
Say a few words.
Let's do that again. I was picking my nose.
What?
Now, join us as we...
But they found it. Okay. One. And hopefully I also know him as a friend.
You have to thank me now.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on, make sure I don't have any olives in my teeth. I just like hearing the accolades.
Alrighty, okay.
You love me, you really love me. Leads they go for the frick grandeur. Oh, you can hear the ocean, you can.
Raise your voice and sing along, 'cause we are one. We are one. We are one. We are one.
Thank you very much. Please continue.
Okay, I thought it was like, I just downloaded new breasts, and these ones come with Pandora, so I thought it was mine and they were malfunctioning.
But it does include everything else that comes with it. And it's valued at over $4,000. Can you crunch a little quieter?